Fly, Eagles, fly. What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View, here to give you my analysis for the Jordan Howard trade, sending him from the Chicago Bears to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, you got to give them credit, even more than they've been given. Howie Roseman has done such a great job with continuing to find a way to add talent that can help this team win now. I believe the Eagles are one of the top 4 teams in the NFC at the very least. I think they're a team that can make a run in the playoffs, and I believe they are a team who can win the Super Bowl this year. So for them to go out there and address one of their needs with just a 6th round pick, I think is another brilliant move from their front office. Jordan Howard is only 24 years old. They tried to do the same thing with Jay Ajayi. It was a little bit more of a risk with him due to the injuries, and that's why I wasn't as big of a fan of that move as a lot of other people were. But when it comes to Jordan Howard, you don't really have to worry about that so much. 15 games played in his rookie year where he wasn't a starter at all and he came out of nowhere. 16 games in 2017, 16 games in 2018. He's been consistently on the football field. Now, his production has gone down. Don't get me wrong. 1,300 yards, 6 touchdowns in 2016 as a rookie, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns in 2017, and 935 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2018. So that production has gone down. And he had his best receiving season in 2016, those receptions also going down each year. But he's a very good running back, and I think he fits what the Eagles want to do, especially when it comes to what I was talking about in terms of the playoffs. It's Lincoln Financial Field. It's snowing. It's cold. It's the rowdy fans. You're going to give them the football. It's going to be cold. That defense isn't going to want to be out there trying to stop Jordan Howard on 3rd and 2. They just don't want to. You know, you can line him up in the backfield. You can give him an inside zone from shotgun. Preferably, I think he's a back that is better in a under center type of style offense. He is the old school throwback, just one cut runner, and he's going to go hit the hole hard, and he's going to make you pay every single time he gets the ball. If you give him the ball 15 to 20 times, he's going to make you pay, and he's going to make you plays. And Jordan Howard, I think he's definitely going to upgrade what they had at running back. As AC said, if you don't know who AC is, he's the Philadelphia Eagles fan of this channel. He was huge on the move, immediately put on Twitter, let's go, 6th round pick for Jordan Howard. He thinks he's their best running back they've had since LaShawn McCoy. And no, he's not going to give you that receiving option. He's not going to be a 3-down option, but he is going to be a very good 2-down option. And they still have Clement. They're trying to hope for Sproles. And I think the Eagles can find a way. We've seen Doug Pederson extremely creative. Give Carson Wentz that running game that he really didn't have last year. They had a revolving door of running backs last year. It just did not work out the way they hoped. Clement didn't step up the way they hoped. Adams didn't step up the way they hoped. Ajayi was injured. So a lot of things didn't go their way last year in terms of their running game. This year with Howard, you know this guy can run the football if you give him the touches, and he can stay on the field. So that is, from the Eagles' perspective, an excellent move. From the Bears' perspective, if you're a Bears fan, I think you're sitting there and you probably knew this was going to happen. There's been talk a lot about how Nagy hasn't really been the biggest fan. He doesn't really think he fits his offense very well, and that certainly is the case. And I bet that's part of the reason they made this move. I think the other reason is because he is getting closer to that contract time where he's going to make a little bit more money. The Eagles said, okay, it's worth it even just for this year to get him, and we'll see how it goes because we believe we can win a Super Bowl right now. If you're the Bears, I guess Nagy and the people in Chicago felt that Mike Davis was a decent enough replacement for this season and going forward that they should get something back in compensation for Jordan Howard once he leaves in free agency because they weren't going to re-sign him. So it makes sense from both perspectives. I think the Eagles win the trade because, like I said, I think it upgrades a position that they may have even used a 1st-round pick on. So now they don't got to do that. They don't got to get Jacobs or whoever they wanted to get in the draft. Now they have Jordan Howard, very similar back to that of Jacobs and other players in the draft, and they can just, okay, our running back position is pretty good now. We have the type of style of backs that we want. We have a good blend at the position. We have our quarterback. We have our receivers who we upgraded. We have a good offensive line. Maybe we could use some depth there because we lost some of that. But defensively, you have the D-line loaded. The linebackers could use some work, so you could certainly use a first on a linebacker. Potentially, you could try and trade up to get an even more great player because you don't have a lot of holes on your roster, or you could use it on a corner. Their safety position is good, so the Eagles don't have a lot of holes. That just allows them more versatility in the draft to do a lot more things with basically their options in the draft. So I love it from the Eagles' perspective. From the Bears' perspective, you just got to figure that they're going to feature Tariq Cohen. They're going to add in and mix in and sprinkle in a little bit of gadget Cordell Patterson, and they're going to hand Davis the rock when they need to on short down situations and in the fourth quarter when they're trying to ice the game. And again, that's where I think Howard's going to come in handy when it comes to the fourth quarter, when it comes to the red zone, when it comes to grinding out clock, and when they want to convert to a power running game. There's not many running backs in the league that are better than Jordan Howard in that regard. So you got to give a hand to Howie Roseman and the Eagles once again. They pulled off another fantastic deal. And if you're a Bears fan, I think you might be a little bit upset, especially if you're a Jordan Howard fan. But I think you got to look on the other side of things and say, hey, we know why this happened, and let's move on, move forward, and hopefully we can get something good out of this. Let me know in the comment section where you guys stand. Do you think that this was a great move for the Eagles? Do you think Howard is overrated, and you think that this was a great move for the Bears to move on from him? Or do you really feel like the Bears got screwed over? It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, Gronk spike the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm always here covering the NFL. Peace out.